you've got an opportunity to share in this like deeply spiritual unifying experience. Like when music's done right, I mean, there are a few things that are such a gateway to God.
Welcome to the Brand Rebellion podcast, hosted by me, Haley Jordan. As a brand strategist and designer, I am always trying to explore how to create a brand that echoes beauty, altruism, and wholeness while living a meaningful spiritual life. If you are an artist, storyteller, business owner, or just interested in spirituality and branding, this show is for you. I'd love for you to join me. I am so excited to be here today with two of the members from the soul folk band, the Copper Children. Zea and Christopher are here today.
Hello.
Woo! I am so excited that you guys are here. I said this before and then our thing stopped recording, so I have to say it again, but I'm a big fan. Stoked.
We're big fans as well.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. So I first heard you guys on Spotify on my Discover list. Is that what it's called? Playlist?
Yeah, Discover Weekly.
Yeah, my Discover Weekly. It was a while ago, a few years ago. And I got super obsessed with your song, Drugs and Liquor, and I would just play it over and over and over and over again. It's super summery. It's like a good summer song, and I think I found it in the summer.
Yeah.
And then that summer, I figured out that you guys were local, which is cool when you find a band you love, and you're like, oh, they live here, and they're playing a show. And you guys are playing, the first show I saw you at was at, what is it called? It was like
Lumonics.
Lumonics, yeah.
Art Gallery.
It was an art gallery, yeah, which
in
was super
Thornton. Cool. Or it's Brighton or whatever. It doesn't.
Yeah, they've recently moved. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But they're amazing.
Yeah.
Dorothy and Barry.
Yeah. It was a cool show. It was interesting. I think when I got there, they're like, take off your shoes. Am I remembering this right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is the first show I've been to that
It
I've had to
wasn't
take
like
off
a bar or anything.
No, it wasn't a bar.
That was a
for
cool part of the show.
Yeah.
Everyone was barefoot.
The smell of patchouli.
Yeah. There you go.
Wafting.
Through the air.
Not the worst smell. I like patchouli.
Through the hair.
I
No,
used to-
I think it's good.
Yeah,
Used to
I
wear
know
it a
you
lot.
do. I know you do. I can tell.
I don't wear it a lot, but
You don't?
not ever really. I don't have
Oh.
any.
Dang.
But I would, maybe.
You got to start. Sweet.
I like other oils.
Yeah.
All sorts of oils. So I think we should just jump in. You want to play Drugs and Liquor?
Sure.
Yes.
Christopher, I.
Okay.
2. Love was drugs and liquor. Oh, God willing, God willing. These demons that are crawling up my spine. 2 were dead, but I survived. No voice, just my ears and my eyes. Cut my losses and I cut all of my ties. She's got her finger on the trigger. She's got her finger on the trigger. She's aiming for your head. She's aiming for your head. She's aiming for your head. Yellow painting the summer. Found you floated down the river home, and you never even noticed time go by. Love was you, guns and money. Hey, killers, 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 ain't that funny? We were busy searching for our sanity. Yeah, she's got her finger on the trigger. She's got her finger on the trigger. She's aiming for your heart. She's aiming for your heart. She's aiming for your heart. Aren't you so damn lovely?
Yes. So good. I love that song. Is that one of your oldest songs?
It's off like the first album
first
that was
album.
ever kind of put out. So yeah, it's an old song, that's for sure.
It's good. It's good
It's,
stuff.
It first kind of came about when I was at a thing called the Durango Songwriters Expo, and I was in the
Cool.
lobby, and I just started playing "Love Was Drugs and Liquor," you know.
Yeah. Do you have, is there a specific meaning behind that, or is it just something that came to your mind? How did you get that song?
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, a lot of the songs, they don't have, I guess, I think, to me, they're not necessarily as specific as they are kind of a feeling I think that sometimes I'm going through, or we're all going through, and we just kind of let it come out how it wants to come out, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened with that. I mean, I wasn't like a drug addict at that point, or like, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it has, you know, even though it's called Drugs and Liquor, I think that, you know, they can be a metaphor for kind of like sometimes, you know, how things have to die so that you can rebuild a new, you know. Oh, God willing, these demons, 2 are dead, but I survived.
Yeah.
No voice. It's like you have no control over, you know, sometimes things just change.
Yeah.
And you have no control. You're just kind of watching it happen in front of you. So,
Yeah.
you know, and that can be a relationship to substances. That can be a toxic relationship. That could be a relationship you have to, you know, Santa Claus finding out that he's not real.
Right.
So.
Disappointments, trials in life. It seems like Christopher has something to say.
No.
Did you just find
No.
out? Did you just find out Santa's not real?
See?
I just found out the story of the song.
Oh, sweet. There you
Yeah.
go. You learned something new every day.
That's cool.
So what are the values that you guys reflect in your music? I mean, you have some really strong values, and in your brand in general.
It would align a lot with our mission statement. Integrity, respect, you know, love,
Yeah, I love that.
acceptance, authenticity.
Yeah. So I work
Community.
with community. Yeah. So I work with brands and I help them develop their mission statement, and I rarely see bands with mission statements. So I thought it was super cool that you guys have a mission statement for what you're doing. It's really cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. My dad always taught me to put that in your resume.
There you go.
You know,
It's important.
I was listening to Kuvo the other day, and this dude came on, and he had a personal mission statement.
That's good.
And it was
I like
really
that.
a cool, and it was like, this is what my life is about. And he said that, and I thought,
Wow.
you know, I mean, whether we're a personal organism or whether it's like a band, you know, anything where you're working as a team, it's the same thing at the bottom line. You're creating something together, whether it's music, whether it's, you know, toys, whether it's, I don't know,
Whatever.
radios, you know, whatever. So it's I think, you know, we're a band, but beyond that, you know, we're definitely, you know, we definitely see it as kind of a movement, like you said, towards, you know, authenticity, integrity, and also moving in the directions of, you know, things, sustainable living, you know, like moving in the direction of making Earth a even more inhabitable, you know, more
Better place.
yeah, for
For
sure.
everybody.
Yeah, embracing and cultivating love.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that when I see you guys play, which is a handful of times, but I listen to you all the time, and I see that reflected in what you do and the people that are around you, you know? It's really cool.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get us wrong. You know, we go through the same day-to-day struggles. I mean, not that you assume we don't, but
Yeah.
you know, we go through our own trials and tribulations, you know, and it's not always easy to, you know, to live by some of the messages we have in
yeah.
our songs. So but they're reminders for us as much as anyone else. That's the thing, is it's not really our music. It's more music that we feel kind of like we were kind of chosen to deliver this message.
Yeah.
So, we're learning how to live by our own music sometimes.
Totally.
That's why we have a mission statement, because this is a mission.
Yeah.
Like we deeply feel that we've found each other for a reason, and we're doing this as a purpose for life.
Like the music's being born through you to do something bigger to connect people. I feel the same way with design in general. I think that's just art in general. You kind of let it happen.
Even being a human.
Yes.
Like we incarnate into this body for, I think that's part of the name with the Copper Children. It's like, it's kind of like if you think pennies are copper, copper is, it can be, it's not like gold or something or platinum, it can be kind of undervalued, but it's actually a very valuable metal, and it's common, but it's very important, and, just like that, I think sometimes, we put a lot of emphasis on people who, I'll use, a rock star or a famous like Bill Gates or something. We put a lot more emphasis and meaning on their lives. But their lives don't mean more than anyone else's life, and that's the thing too, is kind of like, okay, you're on this earth, you must be here for some reason, and so if we can help people find their purpose through us, embracing and moving in the direction of our own, that's a beautiful thing to do, I think.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a mission, so maybe you're not perfect all the time, but that's not, I talk a lot about this in my personal life with people I know. That's not the goal. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's just to show up and do the best you can and to try and get better every day and to forgive each other with any relationship, right? So forgiveness, community, love, and just show up.
Yeah,
because no one's perfect, right? I write a lot of brand stories with my clients, and that's kind of what I'm having musicians come in here because they're singing songs, they're telling stories with their music. Is it hard to create new stories all the time that are super good through a song?
Well,
yes
and no. Life delivers a lot of adventure, especially in the path that we've chosen, and it's often overwhelming when you consider how many things there are that you could speak about and what you have passion about, what you want to change, what you want to see change, how you want to help, and it's so there's no shortage of subject matter, but to be a channel, so to speak, to like allow these things to kind of roll through you, it's very rewarding. So the work is self-fulfilling, and I often think about things in terms of colors and rhythm and flavors of life rather than words. I'm very dyslexic, and a lot of things just don't make sense to me. Words slip out of my mind very easily, so Zea might have another take on it because...
Yeah, I mean, I think we have, me and Chris and all of us in the band, we have different angles that end up in the same destination. But, I think for me, it's like, I discovered very early writing music that you can't write a good song. You have to have some deep inspiration that just kind of like, it's like, it's funny to say it's like pooping or something, but it's like kind of like, it's like you can't, if you're supposed to write music, create, you have to do it. It's like I will die if I don't do it. But the thing is I can't do it, and that's what's maybe one of the most challenging things, but it's also one of the most exciting things. Is that, I can't sit down and write a good song. I've never once done that. I've sat down and ended up with a good song because I gave the space, and I felt inspiration. But I've never sat down and written something I liked. The things that I've written, the things that I love that I've written, they've never really been something I try to do, because all I can do is just, basically develop myself so that when I do have ideas, I can, have a platform where I can, give them a base of knowledge where they can be expressed as fully as I would like them. But you know, we definitely have no shortage of storytelling material, and you know, until I stop breathing, until we you know, until something intervenes, I don't foresee us ever running out of any sort of material to write about. I think partially because of the energy of not, you know, obviously, you know, we copyright the songs or whatever, but there's a spiritual thing where I think we're allowing the songs to be their own, and we're just saying, okay, we're welcoming them. And so they continue to come to us, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I always had the thought, like, I would much rather be a part of as great music throughout my life than to, like, own a little bit of it, you know? Like, you know, because, you know, I've noticed when artists get really caught up in being the owner and the guy, the one responsible, the creativity, it dries out, you know, because creativity in its very nature is not about ownership, and it's not about this is mine, this is yours. It's actually the opposite. It's about, you know, something that is for the greater good, you know, and it's like, okay, this is for the greater good of all of us, you know. And, you know, I think in a beautiful world, I would love to see where we could just create for the betterment of humanity. And that could be our job as people, just to create, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, create. What's the next idea? Because I feel like sometimes ownership holds creativity back, and it holds evolution back, because we're so scared once we have a good idea. We're scared to let it out because we're scared it's going to be taken. But that idea has already been. And the one who ends up owning it isn't the one who came up with it. It's the one who decides to take action and, like, put it on a T-shirt, you know? But these things, they're already words. They already, you know, the potato is the potato.
And these songs, they often just grow, you know, like they have a life of their own. Like a lot of times they're not ready when they're recorded.
Yeah.
A lot of songs change throughout history.
We even have thought about re-recording, rewriting songs. Why not? I mean, even just with Drugs and Liquor, I said heart instead of head at the end. Yeah. And that's not in the recording, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, you can do that.
They're alive.
Yeah, they're living. That's we accidentally share this, like, very much a living, breathing. You know, that's one thing I love about, like, jazz and like people, especially like Miles Davis, is he's constantly evolving, and he's not becoming his own cover artist. He is an artist, you know, and he's constantly, you know, and no matter what people think. Whether they want him to go play Kind of Blue, he's like, I can't play that anymore. But he's still Miles Davis, you know? And I think that's kind of inspiring to continue to, you know, not stay trapped to, you know, anyone's expectation of us, and just continue to, you know, we didn't really do this so that people would like it. We did this because we felt called to do it.
But that's when it's good, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing stuff to be liked, you're not gonna have a good time, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think when you connect deeply with yourself, your work reflects that, and then people are like, whoa, that's really good, and they can connect with it. So it's not, you know, it's not about being liked anyways. Not gonna have a good time.
Totally
liked.
Forgive us for our wicked ways.
Yeah, so I want to hear Jack and Ginger, but first I want to read my favorite piece of that song, because I think it's good enough to read and then play again. So my favorite part is, we'll be running down south till the road turns red. A morning in Georgia put a soul to rest up on Heavenly Hill. Yeah, when mama starts calling, you know where we'll be, talking about God on a South Georgia beach, singing healing songs. So I love this lyric for so many different reasons. One, it's super simple and romantic feeling. Romantic as in there's a slowness to it, like a luxury of, I'm hanging out with my friends, like we're talking about God. We have this luxury where we can just talk about God, right? And sit on a beach. So that's one of the reasons why I love it. Before we play the song, this is a big question, but who is God to you, guys? Because you sing about God and spirituality. You talk about spirituality a lot.
To me, God is like a white man in the sky.
Okay. Next. I knew. Right when you said white, I was like, uh-oh. This isn't going good.
No, I mean, God to me is an energy that binds all things together. You know, and God to me is, it's whatever I you know, it's you know, simultaneously very subjective, because everyone has their own version of what God is, and at the same time it's also universal, because it's like, to me, it doesn't have to be called God, but it's like the energy that binds all things together.
Yep.
You know, all
All
relations.
the essence
makes
of
us one family.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it boils down to love, personally.
Yep.
I think that's what the glue is,
Yep.
really. The background radiation of the universe, the dark matter, you know, what we have tried to explain with science but have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
You know, we use this word because other people know what the word
Yeah.
is referring to, but we in no way are suggesting that anybody believe any certain way.
Yeah.
We are very much
about freedom when it comes to, you
know, embracing freedom, allowing people to grow
Yeah.
how they need to. You know, God is waking up and being able to wake up in the morning. You know, your partner making you a cup of coffee, but God is also that dude that cut you off in traffic. God is also finding out your grandma died. Like, it's a taker and a giver. It's everything.
It's destruction and
this
creation.
isn't, you know, all peaches, but it's also, you know, it's just all so beautiful in the end.
Yeah, and I think we very much try to steer clear of putting our own beliefs into it. You know, it's kind of just like, you know, this song came to us, you know, and I know that, me personally, I did not want to be afraid to use the word God and be considered Christian, because, you know, I mean, we grew up in basically a Protestant society. I mean, most of my family me and my parents, you know, they've been Protestants. So we've been raised with a lot of this kind of language. And I mean, gospel music, you know, of like Christian gospel music has had a huge influence on us. It's some of the best music. I mean, I love gospel music, but am I going around like, you know, talking about you're a sinner and, you know, you're going to go to, you know, no. And do I consider myself a Christian? No, I don't consider myself anything. I love humans. I love people. And that's where I find God, where I find church is in somebody's eyes. It's in a connection I feel to somebody or something. It's when I look at the mountains and I feel that I'm tiny and I'm also huge. And I feel a responsibility to the atoms in my body as if they are separate from me, as if I'm taking care of this body as if it were the earth that people live on. And if I kill it, you know, with this ego, you know, it's doing more than just killing me. This is a universe unto itself. But I'm also an ant or a tiny cog, you know, and that's where I find God. But, you know, I definitely did not want to be afraid, because people have fear around this word God. Like, oh, you know, the word God does not belong to a religion. And I don't have anything against people who are Christians either. I don't have anything against, if that's what you choose to be and that helps you be who you want to be, all the power to you.
Yeah, we
love you. I just personally, you know, if you think you're right, that's where it's like, oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah, people that think they're right have a lot to learn.
We call the music psychedelic gospel too, you know?
Oh,
you know,
that's so cool.
Mind manifesting gospel.
Love that.
That's what that means, basically.
Yeah.
Love that. So. Yeah, you guys want to play Jack and Ginger for me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, me and Jack Ginger hanging at the bar, smoking cigarettes like they were cigars, and dancing the good old country night away. And it wasn't till just about 2:45, Ginger turns around and looks at me, and she asks me where Jack has been. Don't you go wasting your time looking for a Jack in Kansas. He left his common sense in Tennessee, yeah. Don't you go wasting your time trying to talk sense to the senseless. You will be better off talking to a tree. Well, I hit the road up in Nebraska, bought myself a cowboy hat at a gas station. Told him keep the change. I'll be making my way on up to Dakota, feet in the sky and head in a shower. 'Cause I've been sweating, man. Don't you go wasting your time looking for a Jack in Kansas. He left his common sense in Tennessee, yeah. Don't you go wasting your time trying to talk sense to the senseless. You would be better off falling asleep. Well, I'll be running down south till the road turns red. A morning in Georgia put a soul to rest. Up on Heavenly Hill. Yeah, and when Mama starts calling, you know where we'll be. Talking about God on a South Georgia beach and singing healing songs. Don't you go wasting your time looking for a Jack in Kansas. He left his common sense in Tennessee, yeah. Don't you go wasting your time trying to talk sense to the senseless. You would be better off talking to a tree.
Yes! I'm smiling so big right now. So good. What is that one about?
Man, I mean, that's like our band in a song.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first we got together and rehearsed.
We sat down in a room.
And that was the first thing that came
and
out.
that's what happened.
As the 4-piece band, we would become known as. We just sat down and that was the first thing, you know, and you know, those lyrics took a while to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Morning in Georgia. We went to Georgia. Our brother Elijah, he's from Georgia, and his brother passed away in the making of the album that's on called What We Are, and so we all flew to Georgia to be a part of you know, the
Ceremony of
morning,
his
the
life.
ceremony of his life.
Yeah.
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 And you know, those lyrics basically popped out of that. And you know, South Georgia Beach is like the pond by Mama Carrie's house, and
His mother's house has a pond on it.
yeah,
And we
and
often
call it,
contemplated.
God by the
We
pond.
contemplated a
Love,
lot of things.
life, all things.
Yeah, all the good things.
And the spirits, you know, I mean, we were very inspired and deeply moved by that experience, and it brought us together as a brotherhood and as a group. And so to me, like when I play that song, I think of, you know, if you look up the video on YouTube, it's like this tour video really early of us, like this compilation of
montage
footage,
of road
a montage
footage.
of
Yeah.
road footage. But I always think of that like us being like, you know, young, kind of fancy and free, you know, being wild on the road,
Yeah.
like barely getting paid, like going into debt, but like not a worry in the world.
Yeah.
And
We had started recording the song too before Caleb, Elijah's brother, had passed away, and it wasn't really coming out of us. It was a struggle, and
yeah,
it was one of the last tunes to get really wrapped up. And
Chris and I sat down in the studio and just cranked it out.
we all hammered out the lyrics at one point together. I
Yeah, you
remember
and I.
writing that very line.
We did, yeah.
Me and Zea kind of wrote
Elijah,
that
yeah.
because it was like, you know, the road, the further south you get, it just starts turning red, like straight
Yeah.
blood red, like from the clay. And
Yeah.
we were down there, you know, to celebrate Caleb. And, you know, like, it sounds like you were saying morning, like,
Yeah, morning.
you know, an AM morning.
Yeah, yeah,
But
it's both.
It's
That's
both,
kinda
you
how
know.
I see it, yeah.
yeah, and it's kind of like how far you want to dig into lyrics. I like stuff like that.
Me too.
Elijah loves stuff like that. He's
Yeah.
a riddler.
He's
so.
yeah.
Yeah. Like double meanings.
Oh, he loves
Yeah.
all the riddles.
Yeah,
yeah.
Cool.
we're word folk. We love words.
I can tell because I love them so much. I love your
Yeah,
words.
we have some really cool lyrics in our new record. Like I don't know, there's more
Yeah.
of that. Like in Miriam, there's if I were
Sailor.
when I'm in the momentum
Yeah.
I be moving through matter don't matter to me.
Yeah.
When I
That's
close
sweet.
my eyes, that's when I can see.
My breath is the wind and my blood is the sea.
Now we got to hear that one.
Yeah,
You ready?
let's do it.
That's a good one too.
It is.
I was gonna pick that one and then you guys picked it and I was like, what? Get out of here.
Myri am.
Myri am.
Myri am.
Harry Mary am.
Miriam, she dances on into the night, into the night, on into the night. Miriam, she dances on into the night, into the night, on into the night. If I were a sailor, a pirate, I'd be out on the sea, yes, out on the sea. And if I'm a man, a musician, I'd be moving through time with this melody. Miriam, she dances on into the night, into the night, on into the night. Miriam, she dances on into the night, into the night, on into the night. When I close my eyes, that's when I can see. Our breath is the wind and our blood is the sea. Miriam, she dances on into the night. Into the night, on into the night. Miriam, she dances on into the night. Into the night, on into the night. Miriam, she dances on out of the night, out of the darkness and out of the night. Miriam, she dances on out of the night, out of the darkness and into the light. And she goes away, and she goes away.
Damn, that's so beautiful. I feel like sitting with you guys, I've been taken to church, honestly.
Like the
church,
Hosier song? No.
Yeah, right. Can you guys sing that one now? I'm
Time
just
to
joking.
go to church.
That's so funny. I love the lyric, and if I'm a man, a musician, I'd be moving through time with this melody. That's beautiful. I'm a big lyric person, so I dig your lyrics a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what is your guys' spiritual practice, if you have one in your life? I mean, of course, music is part of that, but what else do you do to stay grounded and kind of do what you do?
I've been making puzzles lately.
Oh, yeah, that 1,000-piece puzzle you're working on today?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
What's it a picture of?
The Waves. It's
The Waves.
It's a rock feature in Arizona.
Oh,
It's
cool.
like very wavy. It's where Pink Floyd shot that album cover with the Storm Turks, and I don't know if you know.
Sweet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Puzzles, what else?
I mean, I like to play basketball.
Cool.
I think that's a good spiritual, or
Mhm.
it's just a good, you can get too music based, and then it gets kind of like you need some counterpoint to help you, with sitting down and, putting in hours. As athletic as it is to play, it's athletic in its own way.
Mhm.
But I'm very inspired by working my body out, and basically, I mean, to me, like the best spiritual practices I can find is basically like just taking care of things like my space, like cleaning my space.
Yes, it's a big deal.
Meditating, I like
Mhm.
to try to meditate / pray in the morning and in the evening if it's in the flow,
Yeah.
and just take care of my body and look and be conscious of the people around me. I think
Yep.
that's, to me, like the most spiritual thing I can do.
It's the starting point. It's like your personal, what's the word I'm looking for? Responsibility to do those things,
Yeah.
You have to.
I have to frisbee golf,
That sounds,
And
well, actually,
rock climb.
rock climb.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds
But
fun.
frisbee golfing is more important.
It's more fun, right?
Ultimate is really fun for me. I haven't played in a while, but I used to be a big Ultimate player.
Yeah. half of my spiritual practice is moving my body, honestly. It's a
Yeah.
gigantic part. It frees my mind, especially if you're the artistic type. Your mind can be a dark place sometimes. So it's good. It's super, super good to move your body, whatever that is, for you.
Andy, who plays the bass, in the Copper Children, he said something really cool because he's really dedicated to his yoga practice, and like we'll be on the road in the middle of in a dingy motel and be hungover or something, and he'll be doing yoga, and it's like I respected him for that. I respect him for that, and he put it this way, like when you can choose your struggle, I think then it makes the struggles that just happen in life, it makes it easier to deal with them because you're choosing your struggle as opposed to allowing your struggle to choose you.
Yeah.
Like you're choosing, okay, this is even though I may not want to do this, when I choose to do this, it makes my mind, helps my mind be more disciplined.
Yeah.
Without a disciplined mind, I definitely freak out.
My practice is whatever I have to do to not freak out on people that day.
Chris is a very dedicated non-gluten, non-dairy eater.
Yeah,
and I've always respected him, for that, and looked up to him because he's super dedicated and he makes really amazing food and grows food. And
I've found recently discipline to me is doing the things you don't want to do like in a way that would be seen as if you really want to do it. Like you do the things you don't want to do as if you really want to do them. And that that's like frustration is almost cathartic for me personally. Like that's my spiritual practice. That's why I like rock climbing, because it's like impossible. Like at most of the time, it's like literally impossible.
Feels very impossible too sometimes. It's like, wait, we're gonna get together and organize sound to the point where it sounds like really good,
and it has like a spiritual impact on people. Like that's another level. You're like, oh,
it's
that's
terrifying.
a big job.
I mean, music terrifies me constantly. I'm just like, oh my, what am I doing? Like
the best way to get skirt.
Yeah, skirt. It is. It's terrifying. Like it's like, I don't know. Anyone who's gotten over stage fright probably doesn't play that well. I'm just kidding. I don't think that's true.
Well, the weight of the responsibility and like the privilege of being able to perform and being on a stage, it should get your nerves up a little bit. The opportunity to level up is often what I describe those nerves as. You know that you've got an opportunity to like better your day. Other people's days.
You've got an opportunity to share in this like deeply spiritual unifying experience. Like when music's done right, I mean, there are a few things that are such a gateway to God.
Yeah,
gateway
I agree,
God.
100%. Gateway to God.
Yeah, that's good.
Ronald Reagan hits it.
Gateway to God.
All right, yeah. Want to play one more?
Sure. You feeling like an anchor, never ever letting go, honey. The storm is long but past, and still you're dreaming. In the end, I understand that trouble don't pass easily, because the heavier the weight, the harder the fall. But the darker the day, the brighter the dawn, and that's a good thing, 'cause I feeling like an ocean. molecularly I am just a drop of water, because the heavier the weight, the harder the fall. But the darker the day, the brighter the dawn, and that's a good thing. You're running, 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 running. You don't find it's alright, it's okay. We just ride, yeah. You're searching, 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 searching. You don't find it's alright, it's okay. We just ride into a dream. Dreams stay the moment we evaporated, baby. It's alright, it's okay. We just ride into a dream. Dreams stay the moment we evaporated. Ages and phases and stages, and time going by, time going by. Ages and phases and stages, and time going by, time going by. Time's going by.
Yeah, that was awesome. But the darker the day, the brighter the dawn, and that's a good thing, right? It's kind of our conversation,
Yeah.
I think. You guys are really special. I think you guys are so cool. I like you guys because you jump into the deep stuff right away. You're like, yeah, and that's how I am too. And it's kind of hard to find people that, can just be like, let's talk about God's existence and blah, blah, blah. So I really thank you so much for that. And being here, I think what you're doing is important, and I can't wait to see you. Where can we all see you coming up?
The Bluebird Theater next Thursday, March 12th. We're playing with Handmade Moments and Plain Faraday. Armando Lopez will be sitting in on saxophone. Nikki Flyen will be singing with us. And we'll also be joined by Eric Johnson on the keys. So it's going to be an incredible show.
Yeah.
Kind of thinking of it like almost like akin to the old, Rolling Thunder Review, just kind of folk show. But obviously we do more than just play folk, but kind of that, rootsy soul medicine feeling. So
Love it. I'll be there.
awesome.
You guys will be there too, right?
I hope so.
Dad jokes all
love to
around.
see you.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to
Thank
be
you,
here. I
Haley.
am
Thank you so much.
honored.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're honored too.
Thank you so much for listening to the Brand Rebellion podcast. I hope that you guys found this information useful and inspiring. Please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. You can also find me online at HaleyJordan.com or on Instagram at @It'sHaleyJordan. Thanks so much again. Talk to you guys soon.